Hey besties, it's your girls Alexis and Adrian coming at you with your weekly dose of giggles and girl talk. This is a really special one because we are celebrating Women's History Month.
Every March in the United States, Women's History Month is dedicated to recognizing the incredible contribution women have made to history, science, politics, culture, and society.
Why'd you bring...
But beyond just celebration, it's also about reflection. Looking back at stories that were overlooked, voices that were silenced, and achievements that didn't always get the recognition they deserved. So today, we're going to talk about the history of Women's History Month, incredible women who changed the world, some facts you might not know, and even some everyday inventions created by women that are still used today.
Okay, let's get into the history. All right, we have Fat Stack.
She's
hefty. Hurt my finger.
It's 8 pages long.
Wow, you did some research.
Yeah, I got it prepped and ready
For what?
for our episode.
Okay, Women's History. Oh, I thought it was double-sided. I was about to freak the fuck out.
No. I thought it would be easier if it was single-sided.
Yeah. Okay. Women's History Month actually started as something much smaller. Back in 1978. Okay. A school district in Sonoma, California organized the very first Women's History Week. So 1978 to now. How long is that?
88.
My mom was born in 76 and she's 50.
So.
Like 52.
No. That can't be right.
Yes.
50. So this is 40.
Anywho, the goal was simple. Teach students about women whose stories were missing from history books. Teachers began creating lessons highlighting scientists, activists, artists, and leaders who had helped shape the world but rarely appeared in textbooks.
48 years.
Oh, yeah, because it would be less, not more.
Sorry.
The idea spread quickly. By 1980, President Jimmy Carter issued the first presidential proclamation declaring a National Women's History Week. Then in 1987, the U.S. Congress expanded the celebration to the entire month of March, officially creating Women's History Month. But here's an important question. Why were women's stories missing from history in the first place? For centuries, many societies limited women's roles in public life. Women often weren't allowed to vote, hold office, attend certain universities, or work in many professions. Even when women made major discoveries or contributions, the credit often went to men or institutions instead. Fucking men. Because of that, many women's achievements were simply not recorded or widely taught. Women's History Month exists partly to correct that, to shine light on the stories that were ignored for far too long.
Yeah, I know. Now we're going to go into trailblazing women.
Say that 3 times fast.
Trailblazing women. Trailblazing women. Trailblazing women. Trailblazing women.
Trailblazing women. Trailblazing women. Trailblazing women. Trailblazing women. Trailblazing women. That's a lot.
Okay, let's talk about a few incredible women who changed the world. And these are just a few examples. There are thousands of stories worth telling. But we only have a few. I'm going to do my best on names. May the odds be in everybody's favor. Susan B. Anthony was a major leader in the women's suffrage movement in the United States. In the 1800s, women were not allowed to vote. Anthony spent decades organizing protests, giving speeches, and pushing for equal voting rights. In 1872, she even illegally voted in a presidential election to challenge the system and was arrested for it. Although she didn't live to see it happen, her work helped lead to the 19th Amendment in 1920, which gave women...
Women! I'm a woman!
It gave us women the right to vote.
I'm a woman!
And proud of it.
You're a woman, I'm a woman, we're all women!
Bader Ginsburg. Fast forward to the modern era and we find another trailblazer. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Before becoming a Supreme Court justice, she was a lawyer fighting gender discrimination cases. At the time, many laws treated women and men differently. Ginsburg argued several landmark cases before the Supreme Court that helped establish legal protections for gender equality. In 1993, hey, that was the year I was born, she became only the second woman ever appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court, where she continued advocating for equal rights for decades. You want to try that one?
Malala Yousafzai. Hold on.
Yeah, let's figure out how we...
Yes, we... Okay. How to pronounce Malala. Here we go. Turn my sound on.
Malala Yousafzai.
Okay.
Yousafzai?
Hold on.
Malala Yousafzai.
Yousafzai.
Malala Yousafzai.
Yousafzai.
Okay. Malala grew up in Pakistan and became an outspoken advocate for girls' education. When she was just 15 years old, she was attacked by the Taliban because of her activism. Instead of silencing her voice, the attack sparked a global movement. At age 17, she became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner in history. Today, she continues working to ensure girls around the world have access to education. Marie Curie. She was a physicist and chemist.
What's a chemist?
I don't know.
Why do you always hit my left arm?
Well, because
It's
you
gonna
always
be
sit to
covered
my right.
in bruises. Could you just get the right a couple of times to even them out?
Well, you have to start sitting on my right.
You
And
won't let me.
everywhere we sit, you're always to my right. Anywho, who made groundbreaking discoveries about radioactivity. She became the first person ever to win 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different scientific fields. Her research helped lay the foundation for modern cancer treatments and medical imaging technologies. At a time when women were rarely allowed in laboratories, she became one of the most influential scientists in history. Rosalind Franklin, another scientist whose story deserves more recognition. Her research and X-ray images were crucial to discovering the double helix structure of DNA. However, during her lifetime, much of that credit went to other scientists. Today, historians widely acknowledge how important her work was in understanding the building blocks of life. A few others that fall under an arts and culture are Frida Kahlo. Created artwork that explored identity, gender, pain, and culture. Her paintings remain some of the most recognizable and influential works in modern art. And Maya Angelou, poet, writer, civil rights activist, used her words to inspire generations. Her autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, became one of the most important literary works of the 20th century.
Were you going to tell me it looked like I stuck a fork in an outlet before we started?
I didn't think you did, so no.
All right, so now we're going to do some Did You Know fun facts. It's all on the page. Did you know? Oh, this is jack shit. Women in the United States could not open a bank account without a male cosigner until 1974.
That was like 2 years before your mom was born.
That's jack shit.
Yeah.
You're telling me if I tried to open a bank account without a male, I would say, take my money.
Sure, as soon as you have a man.
No. The first computer programmer in history was a woman named Ada Lovelace in the 1840s. She wrote the first algorithm intended for a machine long before modern computers existed. And here's one that surprises a lot of people. The technology behind Wi-Fi and Bluetooth was co-invented by actress and inventor Hedy Lamarr. She helped develop a communication system during World War II that eventually became the foundation for wireless technology we use today. Another incredible figure is Katherine Johnson, a mathematician at NASA. Her calculations helped determine the trajectories for early space missions, including the flight that sent astronaut John Glenn into orbit. Without her work, those missions may have not been possible. And finally, Madame C.J. Walker became the first self-made female millionaire in the United States. She became a successful business selling hair care products and used her wealth to support education and civil rights causes. Do you have all of this memorized?
No.
Just go off script.
No. Okay, forgotten figures. History is filled with remarkable women whose stories are less well known. Let's talk about 2 of them.
How many? Hold on.
4.
5.
It's just those 2.
4, 5, 6, and then the outro. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Mary Anning was a fossil hunter.
What's a fossil hunter?
Well, she's kind of like a fossil hunter, but a hunter.
Okay.
Picasso,
I like it.
1800s. Despite having very little formal education, she discovered several important marine fossils along the coast of England. Her discoveries helped scientists understand prehistoric life
That'd be my son.
and contributed to the development of paleontology. However, because she was a woman and from a working class background, she rarely received credit from the scientific community during her lifetime. Ooh, we should have looked. Can you look this one? How do I say this name?
Jean Ching Wu. He hears the dog outside. He's a barking boy. Hold on. Jean Sheng Wu.
Jean
Sheng Wu.
Sheng Wu. Okay. A Chinese-American physicist. Her experiments helped prove a fundamental principle in particle physics. Physics, known as parity violation. Her research was so important that it led to a Nobel Prize being awarded.
Nobel Prize.
Noble. A Nobel Prize!
Say Nobel Prize.
Why are they not getting bells?
Say Nobel.
Noble.
Nobel Prize.
Noble.
Nobel.
Noble.
Nobel Prize.
Because they got Nobels. Got it. However, the prize went to the male physicist who proposed the theory, not to Wu, who proved it experimentally. Today, she is widely recognized as one of the greatest experimental physicists of the 20th century. Yeah. That's some bullshit.
Wu got gypped.
Okay.
Hello? I have some words on this page. All right. Women who have changed everyday life. There are women who have invented things that shape our everyday lives. The windshield wiper was invented by Mary Anderson in 1903. I'm going to think of that every time I turn my windshield wipers on. At the time, people thought the idea was unnecessary, but today, every car has them. Could you imagine driving your car without windshield wipers?
My brother-in-law had to do it one time in the rain. And, well, of course it was in the rain. And he stopped and took a one of those windshield wiper cleaner things from a gas station and, like, pulled it across to clean his window as a windshield wiper as he drove.
God. The dishwasher was invented by Josephine Cochrane in the late 1800s. She created it because she was frustrated with servants breaking her dishes. Another example is Kevlar. The super strong fiber used Kevlar.
Kevlar.
Yeah, Kevlar.
Kevlar and her noble.
Kevlar, the super strong fiber used in bulletproof vests. It was invented by chemist Stephanie Kolek, and one of the most delicious inventions of all time, the chocolate chip cookie, was created by Ruth Wakefield. These inventions show how women have shaped both technology and everyday life in ways sometimes we overlook. Hold on, I want to see what this says. As you can hear, that's Duty Booty and Ellie.
Look like actually going at it. I want to read this.
Well, maybe not. Stop there.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
going to do. Stop.
Okay, so you're going to do all of this through here.
Through here.
Okay.
And then you'll... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Planning on the go. Okay.
Well, not really because they're watching us.
Yeah, but like we're on the go during the episode. We didn't plan before.
Don't tell them that.
They just watched us. Okay. So let's take a moment to reflect. Even though
Are
progress
you reflecting? Or are you deflecting?
has been made, conversations about representation and equality are still happening today. Women now lead companies, governments, scientific labs, and space missions. Fields.
Missions.
Okay, Kevlar.
Okay, Noble.
Exactly.
Don't talk to me.
Fields like engineering and technology, once dominated almost entirely by men, are becoming more diverse every year.
Yeah,
But-
they are.
Challenges still exist. Representation in leadership positions is still uneven, and women in many industries still face barriers like pay gaps and limited opportunities. That's why continuing these conversations matters. And this is where I'd love to hear from you. Think about this question.
I said, excuse me.
Who is a woman who has influenced your life? It might be a historical figure, a public leader, or someone much closer to home. Maybe it's a teacher, a mentor, a family member. Sometimes the most impactful stories are the ones happening quietly in our own communities. You want to talk about who you find the most influential? Who influenced you the most?
It is.
Okay, who? Who?
You go first.
Who influenced me the most? Maya Angelou. You?
I was going to say my mommy.
I was being silly. Way to take it serious.
Oh.
Sorry.
In that case, I can't even think of something silly right now. I was gonna say Michelangelo, but that's a turtle from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's a man. I'm trying to think of any female cartoon character right now. I know, but you were saying you were being silly, so I was trying to match your silly with a cartoon character.
Ooh.
And
Hannah Montana.
that's horrible. No.
Uh,
Moving on.
Barbie.
She is the most
Iconic.
doll.
Check out our last week's episode.
and
You'll
will
hear
see.
about how iconic she is.
Yes.
As we wrap up
And
today's...
152 countries. Is that right? 46?
I don't remember.
50.
That was
150.
last week. I've slept since then.
Yeah. Continue.
Okay. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to encourage you to celebrate the women in your life, not just this month, but all year. Take time to learn about women whose stories you may not have heard before. Share those stories, talk about them, pass them on.
Anywho, that's all we have. See you next week, besties. And happy happy Women's Month. Right?
International Women's History Month.
No, it's just Women's Month. Women's History Month. Fuck.
It's just about women.
Happy Women's History Month. See you next week, besties.